could have done something, but now I'm left with an empty heart, no making amends.
Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make Japanese curry beef stew. Now, the first time I ever had Japanese curry was on a family trip to Japan a few years back, and we visited Tokyo and the mountains of Takayama and the city of Kyoto. But while staying in Tokyo, the hotel that we were at had a beautiful breakfast buffet, and on that buffet they had curry and some white rice. Now, I know that seems a little odd, but just to kind of like fill you in on like Asian culture, if you will, if you don't know already. Most Asian cultures, if not all of them, they don't discriminate or designate specific foods for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So like we Americans, we typically think eggs, bacon, ham, toast, waffles, bagels, things like that are breakfast foods. Now don't get me wrong, they certainly eat stuff like that in Asia for breakfast, but it is not uncommon to be eating rice and curry or soup or fish or things of that nature for breakfast. As a matter of fact, if you've stayed at a resort and you've looked at a room service menu and seen traditional Japanese breakfast, that basically would be a bowl of miso soup, a bowl of white rice, maybe a grilled fish like mackerel or salmon, maybe even some sushi. So just to fill you in, that's how most Asian cultures work. Now there is a slight difference between Japanese curry and Indian curry. Now traditional Indian curry is yellow and Japanese curry is basically brown. And Indian curry has a much more strong, maybe pungent curry flavor, where Japanese curry is a more mild, subtle flavor. Dare I say it has a hint of sweetness to it. Now it's really yummy. It just is a wonderful hearty stew. Now we're going to be serving our Japanese curry beef stew with white rice, which is traditional, but you can certainly boil up a few egg noodles and throw your stew over that. That works absolutely fine, whatever suits your fancy. So now, like all my other tutorials, at the beginning of this one, I'll have an ingredients page listing all the necessary ingredients and the measurements. And I'll also put it in the description box below for your convenience. So, enough talking. Let's get cooking.
Let's start with our aromatics. Here I have 3 cloves of garlic. I'll just cut off the ends and then I'll smash them and mince them. So here I have a chunk of ginger. We'll just remove the skin with the back of a spoon and then we'll grate it. You need just enough for 1 to 2 teaspoons, depending on how much you want to put in. Next, we'll need to cut up 1 medium onion. So just remove the ends and the peel and then cut it in half. And then we just need to roughly chop it. So I happen to have a bag of pre-chopped carrots, so I'll use that. This is equivalent to 2 to 3 whole carrots. I also have 2 medium russet potatoes. I just gave them a quick rinse. We'll peel them and then chop them. Just make sure you cut them into equal bite-sized pieces. It needs to be uniform so the potatoes cook evenly. So because we're not using the potatoes and carrots right away, make sure to fill your bowls with water to keep the potatoes from oxidizing and the carrots from drying out. And then just set them aside. Now let's turn on our multi-cooker to saute. and we'll wait for that to warm up. Here I have 1.5 pounds of stew meat, and I'll just season that with some salt and pepper to taste. Next, I'll add a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon, to the bottom of the multi-cooker, and then I'll add the beef. We'll just quickly saute that until it's lightly browned. Once the stew meat starts to brown, we can then add our onions, our garlic, and our ginger. And just stir that in and saute for about a minute or two. Next, we'll add beef broth. You need 3 cups. So this is a 2-cup measuring cup. So here's 2 cups of beef broth. And then an additional cup for 3 cups total. Next, we'll add the golden curry. I have 2 packages. They're the smaller packages, which are 3.2 ounces. If you find the larger package, just use 1. Again, these are the smaller ones, so I'm using 2. So all you have to do is kind of just break up the pieces inside the package, peel back the film, and throw them into the stew pot. So once you add the curry, make sure you stir it thoroughly. You need the curry blocks to dissolve completely. Make sure you scrape the bottom. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. The sauce will start to thicken when the curry has dissolved. Once the curry has completely dissolved, we're ready to put the lid on the multi-cooker and set it to pressure cook, and then set the timer for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, once the timer is up, release the pressure carefully and open your multi-cooker and give it a good stir. And then next we'll add our carrots and then our potatoes. Stir it one more time to make sure everything's mixed in completely, and then we're going to place the lid back on top. Make sure again that the seal is set to pressure, and then set it to pressure cook, and set your timer for 10 minutes. After the additional 10 minutes are up, you can carefully release the steam. Once all the steam is released, you can open the lid. Our Japanese curry beef stew is done. Now let's plate it and taste it.
Okay, here it is, guys, our Japanese curry beef stew. Let's taste it. And I've also served myself some white rice already with it. So I'll get a little bit of that and a little bit of the beef. That is so yummy. Let me get a little bit of carrot and potato too. It's so delicious. That savory brown curry sauce with the tender chunks of beef and the potatoes and carrots. I absolutely love it, and I know you guys will too. So please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and share with your friends. And don't forget, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on anything. And as always, guys, until next time.
But now I'm left with an empty heart, no making amends.